Hello, here we are again. This is 15 minutes to infuse your work with heart, clearing my throat. And so, what we're doing is releasing these thoughts and beliefs around work, which limit our flow, creativity, and inspiration. And the topic for today is feeling that pressure to work. Now, it's actually pretty obvious. Let's start with how society views work. Notice how many people around you talk about work like some kind of virtue, like, I'm a hardworking person. Look at that person. They work really, really hard. It's that sense that struggle, effort, the pressure of work is somehow a badge of virtue. So notice that subtle pressure that's always around us to work, work, work. And we're going to explore this with the Sedona method. So all you need to do is just make yourself comfortable. Hopefully you won't be interrupted. And just as much as you're willing, follow my lead and just explore whatever feelings come up from these questions. So when you're ready, take a breath and allow things to settle. And think about that statement. I'm a hard worker. And notice that pressure. Notice how it feels. You may notice images and sounds. There could be memories that bubble up, stories, beliefs. And you may also notice how this appears in the body. So just allow yourself to feel the pressure of work. I'm a good worker. I'm a hard worker. And give yourself permission to feel that. Feel whatever's coming up. And approach it with just a little bit of curiosity as well. Some of these feelings may not be, you may not want to feel this. You may not want to acknowledge that you feel this. Nevertheless, whatever is here, just give it permission as best you can. And then notice the no. Notice how much you would like this to be different. Notice that it feels uncomfortable. All of this is resistance. It's a very simple thing. When there's a pushing, there's also a resistance. Allow yourself to feel that and notice what comes up as resistance. And then notice how personal it feels, because of course it does. Give yourself permission to feel that. Let it feel personal, to the extent that it does. That it's about you, about who you are, a reflection of your value. And then could you let this go? It's a yes or no question. Either response is okay. Could you let this go? Whatever response came up, just allow that. Would you let this go? And again, yes or no. When? All right then, that was our first pass through. Now, this pressure to work. We notice this very often in the off time, when you're trying to relax at the end of the day, maybe in the morning, you're just waking up, Maybe on the weekend there's nothing scheduled, and still comes that tap on the shoulder, still comes that unease, that sense that I shouldn't be slacking off, or maybe there's so many things that I could be doing. So notice how that pressure to work interrupts your free time, your leisure time, your off hours, even vacation. And then notice the reaction to that, how that no comes up. Any sense that this is uncomfortable, unwanted, any resistance, as well as any judgments that you may have about yourself, any shoulds. So let all this be here as best you can. And once again, the three simple questions. Could you let this go? Would you? When? Now then, think about people that you work with, and think about how their attitudes very often become yours. Very often at an office, for example, there can be a competition. Who will stay the longest? Who will show up the earliest? Who puts in the best numbers? Who is making the greatest effort? Notice that pressure to work. Allow yourself to welcome any memories, stories. Sometimes these come up as like cinema reels, images and sounds. And sometimes you just feel something in the body. It may not even have a name. Whatever came up, could you just give it permission, since it's here anyway? Let it be. And as best you can, apply a little curiosity as well. You may not want to actually acknowledge these things, but isn't that interesting what came up anyway? Then, check and see if there might be any resistance. This kind of thing happens automatically, doesn't it? Notice any kind of no, any wanting this to be different. Just as best as you can, give it permission. Let it be here. And again, notice how personal all of this feels. It feels like your story. It feels like your identity. But now, let's try a little experiment. Again, I'm not asking you to believe anything at all. There's no need. What you need to do is just check and see what's true for you. Is this actually you? It feels like it very often. I feel the pressure to work. I need to work. I'm a good worker. So is this you, or are these simply thoughts passing through awareness? Are these sensations in the body that arise, shift, change? Is any of this actually you, or are you simply that which is aware of thoughts, feelings, sensations, memories, perceptions? Notice the shift that comes from taking that perspective. And if it doesn't feel 100% either way, then let that be okay as well. There's no should here. And let's go back again. I have to work hard. Feel the pressure of work, the struggle. Allow that to be here. In our society, I think this is probably just a background belief, sensation, feeling, thought that pretty much all of us share. I have to work. Allow that to be here. Allow that to feel as true as it might. How would we survive without working? Everybody is obligated. Some people don't. We can feel judgment about that. Those freeloaders. Feel the pressure to work just as best you can. Allow it to be here. Again, it's generally in the background for most of us. Notice how it shows up. It might just be a tension somewhere in the body. Anywhere in the body. It might be even a resistance to follow along to what's being said. There might be a fading in and out of attention, a desire for distraction, or even just the mind distracting itself automatically. That's okay. I have to work, and work hard. Notice how that shows up as thoughts, images, sounds, memories. And just as best you can, let it all be here for a moment. It seems to be here anyway. And just for now, can you just allow it for a moment longer just to be that way, if that's how it seems to be? But notice also the sense in which this is really just a story, a belief, a thought, or possibly even just a bunch of sensations in the body. Just for now, could you be open to the possibility that none of this has anything to do with you at all? What if, just what if, everything was happening of its own, including any kind of labor, effort, work being done by whoever and whatever that is listening to these words? What if? What if all of this were simply happening and work is simply unfolding as it does? Could you allow yourself to feel that flow, that freedom, that creativity, and the courage as well? It's always here, always now, but sometimes hidden behind thoughts, sensations, beliefs, mind stuff, if you will. So that's it for now. Just this little bit has helped to loosen up things for you. We'll continue along tomorrow and the rest of August. And remember that you can always go back and listen to this recording again. It's available for you. So, thank you. That's it for today. Get to work.